Hi everyone, welcome to the NorahGeorgeYarns podcast. My name's Tracy and I am the dyer behind NorahGeorgeYarns and I live in Leicestershire, right in the middle of England. Today the weather isn't that great, so we've decided to come inside and film a podcast quickly. And when I say we, it's because I've got two little co-hosts with me today who wanted to come on the podcast and talk to you about what they've been doing and making. So we'll talk about that later on, won't we?
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're going to stand and help me and pass projects and things so that we can show them to everybody.
Yeah, and if you want to go and see our videos, it was before this.
Yeah, so we filmed it in the past, didn't we? And we're going to put it later on in this video. So even though we've already filmed that, you'll see it later. Okay, so should we get going? Okay, thank you, Pips. So it's been quite a while since I did a podcast. When I say quite a while, I think it's probably about a year. So if you have been a viewer before, thank you very much for coming back and waiting around for me to come and talk to you again. But if you're a new viewer, I really hope that you enjoy what you see. This will be a shorter podcast than I used to do, simply because I've got so many projects that if I decided to show all of them in one podcast, this will probably last for about 3 days. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm working on at the moment and about 4 of my, I can see you, and about 4 of my most recent finished projects as well, so I can talk about those. So what we'll do is we'll jump straight into the projects that I'm working on, and then I will show you some of my finished projects, and then at the end you will hear about what the children have been working on and what they've been doing to help mum this week while they've been at school. So the first thing that I'm working on is my litmus cowl, which is a pattern by my lovely friend Amy Florence, who is the dyer behind Stranded Dye Works. And the litmus cowl is a great way to use up mini skeins with one other full 400 metre skein of sock yarn. So this is my litmus cowl, and the minis that I'm using are our Nature Collection mini skeins, and I'm using a 100% mulberry silk skein in between that I had left over from another project. So I've got 10 mini skeins that I'm using for this project, and I will quickly go through the colourways of what we've got. So at the top is Seashell. This one here is Marsh Cinquefoil. Then we've got Ochre, Lichen Heath and Rockpool. Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with the camera today because it's really dark outside. If I put the overhead lights on, it makes me look really orange. So you will have to cope with me looking like a moomin instead. So yes. I've got, thank you, Finlay. So there's 5 more colours to go into this cowl. I've got this lovely orange one here, which is Homestead. I've got a purple one here, which is Meadow Saffron, which has actually just come unskeined. This is like a lovely mauvey base with some lovely green speckles. A purple, tonal purple and blue, which is Bramble. A tonal grey, which is Slate, which I'm also using in Pippa's sweater, which you will see later on. And the final colour is Flint, which is a lovely tonal blue. No, that's not yours, no. Right, go then. So that's a lovely tonal blue. So I'm knitting this on my higher fixed circular needles. I believe these are a 16-inch needle, 3.5mm. And I cast on 120 stitches. So that is my litmus cowl. We might have to turn the lights on, guys. Could one of my assistants go and turn the lights on just so we can see? It's gone really dark. I think it's going to rain, isn't it, Pips? Yeah. Okay, so that's a bit better. Thank you, Finn.
So
we can see what's good. Yeah.
More.
Well, thank you. Right. So that is my first project that I'm working on. So those Nature Collection mini skeins, they will be in the shop next week as 10 20 gram or 10 gram mini skein and teeny skein sets.
As always.
As always. Thank you, darling. The other project that I'm working on at the moment is some socks. This is a yarn that will be in this week's update. This is Hawthorn, and it's part of our new Save the Bees collection. So it's a really pale yellow with speckles, and we've got green, brown, and some pinky red speckles in there as well, and some light yellow. This is on our BFL sock base, which is 80% blue face Leicester, superwash blue face Leicester, 20% nylon, and it's 365 meters. So I've just started knitting these, as you can see. I've just done 10 rounds of a 2x2 rib over 72 stitches, and these are on 9-inch higher sharp circular needles. And I think these will just be a vanilla sock just to show off the lovely speckles in this yarn. So you can see some really nice colours in there. Okay.
Sorry, I need to come through because Pip's always needs a drink.
Yes, we're sharing a drink, so obviously they can't sit still. Can you just sit down then? Just go and get another one. No, just sit on the floor. Right, you're interrupting me again. Stop, please. Okay. Right, the final work in progress that I want to show you is my new leaf sweater. So this sweater is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass, who is Knit Love Wool, and it's a colour work yoke sweater. The original's worked in 2 colours, so you have the main background colour and another colour for the contrast, but I've actually done it in 3 colours. So the main colour here is a really soft tonal peachy pink with some hints of yellow as well. The dark contrast colour is Malbec, which you can find in the shop at the moment, and then this colour here is actually a one-of-a-kind tonal pink, which we did have somewhere but now has gone missing again.
Where is it?
Oh, it's gone back on the rack. Let me just grab it.
I put it back.
Finlay put it back, thank you. So this is one of the contrast colours. And we've got 3 skeins of this left on DK, and it is a one-of-a-kind, so once it's gone, it's gone. But it's really lovely. It's a rich pink with some orange speckles, purple, green. It's really lovely. So that's my new leaf sweater. I'm just about 3.5 inches past the sleeve separation, and I've actually done this one so it's a little bit bigger than I would normally wear because I wanted it to be a bit more slouchy. But I'm really pleased with how that yoke has come out, even though the colours aren't showing up so great on the screen. So that is my new leaf sweater by Jennifer Steingass.
Hello, my name's Pippa, and today we have been making wool, dyeing wool with Mummy.
And what are you dyeing your wool for? What's it going to make?
A jumper.
A jumper. So shall we show the colours that you've dyed? Tell everybody what they are.
Yellow, orange, pink, purple, blue, and green.
Okay, so Pippa dyed all of these mini colours. Let me have them so I can hold them up so people can see them. So Pippa dyed 6 different colours of minis to use in a stripy jumper. And I've actually started that jumper. Do you want to hold it up and show it off, Pippi? That's the up bit. Okay. Hold it up, that's it. So here's the jumper, and we're making a flax light by Tin Can Knits, and the main colour that we're using is this colour here, which is called charcoal, and this is on a gold sparkle base because Pippi likes sparkle, don't you? And is that your favourite one?
Yeah, and
yeah.
The purple one and the blue.
And the purple one and the blue. Good girl. So what I've done is I started just in the grey and I worked up until the end of the raglan increases, and then I did 2 rows of a coloured stripe and then 15 rows of the grey and then a 2 coloured stripe, and then just after I'd finished the first, after I'd finished the orange stripe, I did 1 row of the grey and then separated for sleeves. So this will be Pippa's Flax Light. Flax Light's a pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It normally has a garter panel on the shoulders, but because we're doing stripes, we've decided to leave that off. So this is Pippa's jumper. So can you remember how we dyed this wool, Pips? What did we do first?
We grabbed a hot tub of water, then we put the dye in, then we put the wool in, and then put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
For how many minutes? 10.
For 10 minutes, didn't we?
Yes, then it turned out this colour.
Yeah. And it's super bright, isn't it?
And these, maybe on the camera it's bright, but here it's not very bright.
Yeah. It will look lovely with it, with the grey, won't it? So Pip's had a lot of fun doing that, and she had 2 orders to do, didn't you, as well? So she dyed up 2 extra orders this week, which have already gone out, to make jumpers for 2 other little girls.
I sold 2 orders, then I'm going to sell 3, then 4, then 5.
So what we've done is we've made a dyed to order listing in the shop. People don't need to see your tongue. We made a dyed to order listing in the shop for Pippa's jumper set. So the set will come with 6 mini skeins, which are all 20 grams on the super sock base. That's it, just hold it there. So it will come with 6 of those, and it will come, the standard kit will come with a 100 gram skein of the charcoal, but on the same base as the mini skeins, not a gold sparkle. But you'll also have options to add on more mini skeins or more main skeins. So that's in the shop now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pips. Oh no, Finley's going to do his own. So thank you, Pips, say goodbye. Okay, so because Pippa had done some dyeing, Mr. Finlay decided he wanted to do some dyeing too. So we're doing the same thing, we're making the same jumper. But Finlay went for some darker colours, didn't you, Finn?
And for the main thing you knit with, is going to be the blue.
Okay, do you want to show everybody the blue?
The blue.
Okay, I'll hold it up to the camera.
But it is quite dark here, but it looks light in the camera.
Yeah, it's a lot darker in real life than the camera's showing. If we put it back, that's more the colour, isn't it, Finn?
Yeah.
It's a really dark blue. So because Finley's got a bigger size, he'll probably need just over 1 skein. So Pippa's is a size 6 to 8, I'm knitting, and Finley's will be an 8 to 10. So let's show the colours.
Stop.
Okay, right. Sit down then, Finn.
I'm going to move it forward.
Okay, you move forward a bit then. Is that better? So tell us about your colours you chose.
So the yellow looks bright and really bright in the camera, but it is quite bright here as well.
Yeah, but it's not as bright as Pippa's, is it? It's a little bit darker than Pippa's. And then Finley did like a pumpkin orange.
And it looks like a pumpkin.
It does look like a little pumpkin
base.
It does. And then you wanted a red, didn't you?
Yeah, and the red looks like...
Can you remember what the red was called?
No.
Cherry Bomb was Finley's red. So let me just get that in focus.
Sunflower yellow.
Yep. And then you've got a green as well. Hold on 1 second. A purple, which is really quite bright, isn't it, the purple?
Yeah, purple.
And then a royal blue. So Finley's... Pippa, stop, please.
Interrupting.
So Finley's colours are a bit more subdued than Pippa's. Finley, could you hold the blue up with it just so we can see all the colours together? So this will be Finley's jumper, and we're going to do it exactly the same way, aren't we, that we did Pippa's?
And we'll sell it all to you with all of the colours I've showed you, and one of the blues for each pack you get. Yep,
so it'll be exactly the same as Pippa's, but you'll get the dark blue as the main colour with your choice of colours, won't you? That's Pippa's, that one. Yeah. And then you'll get the 6 mini skeins in exactly the same way, but they'll be on a dyed to order. So you can check, obviously if you don't have to knit the flax light pattern, you can knit whatever pattern you like.
These are all the colours.
And check the pattern for what you might need as a full...
There's going to be a one blue, if I can stand up tall enough to show the people.
Yeah, there we go. All of the colours. So they're in the shop, and you can have those on dyed to order. And the kids will help dye them as well, won't you?
Yeah.
So they're earning a bit of pocket money while you're on holiday from school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all we want to say about those?
No.
No? Finley's not finished yet?
And the blue, this blue looks quite lighter through the camera, but it's actually
It's a definitely different colour to the main colour though, isn't it?
This is more like grey. It looks really blue in the camera.
No, it is quite blue.
It is quite blue.
It's a navy blue.
And here's the other one.
Yeah, I'd say that's a royal blue.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference
Between.
in the colours just there.
And this is Pippa's. And this is mine. This is Pippa's.
Put them next to each other. There is a difference.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. You're going to say bye to everybody. Thank you for telling us all about your jumpers. So that is all of the works in progress that I'm going to show you, because they're the 3 that I'm mainly working on at the moment. And so now I'm going to show you some finished objects. So while we're on holiday, I took far too many knitting projects.
Yeah.
And the sort of thing that you want to make in 38-degree heat is obviously an Aran weight cowl. So I made this hat cowl, which is the hipster cowl by Hohi Lokitali. And I knit this in our Aran base in the colourway Hot Chocolate. And you can see it's a really nice length. It sits really nice around your neck, which I love because it just keeps the back of your neck warm in the winter. But then obviously because it's an infinity cowl, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'll just hold it up so that you can see the pattern. So there's a series of pearl and knit stitches to create a texture just here. There's a panel of drop stitches that are crossed over, and then a garter panel and a little fringe around the edge, which, because I've washed this a couple of times, blocked this a couple of times, it's starting to fray at the ends, which I actually really like. So the colour, that it's actually blowing out quite a bit on the screen, but this is more like the real colour, so it's a really rich chocolatey brown, so it'd be lovely when autumn rolls around. I used just about, I think, 2.5 skeins of Aran, so that works out at about just around 400, maybe just over 400 metres of Aran weight, which includes the tassels too, which I thought was pretty good. So I'm going to show you a few of my recent sweater project finishes. So Pippa, would you like to get one first? Okay, so this is my most recent finish. This is my second Soldotna. So Soldotna is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, who is Boyland Knitworks, and it's a cropped short sleeve sweater, colourwork sweater, all over colourwork. So this one was knit in a 100% non-superwash merino in the colours Storm Cloud, Dragon's Hole, Old Gold, Natural, and in the body you'll be able to see that there's actually a combination of natural and old gold just there. So I did actually modify this one a little bit because this is the second one that I made. In the pattern you have a ribbed neck that comes up quite high, so even though it looks okay, it doesn't feel comfortable because it's just up too high. So in this one I actually did a rolled neckline. So I just did 3, I cast on after the first set of increases, or that stitch count, and then just did 3 or 4 plain rows of knitting and then just went straight into the pattern. I also added 3 repeats onto the sleeves to make the sleeves a little longer rather than cap sleeves, and I did 11 repeats of the pattern on the body. So that is my Soldotna, which is really lovely, and it's a great length for wearing either over dresses or with skirts or with jeans too. So while I've shown you that one, I'll show you the first one that I knit. This one. So this is my first Soldotna that I made. So you can see the difference in the neck on those, and they're the same size. I knit exactly the same. The neckline does come up a little bit higher. So for this one, the colours that I used were Sea Mist, Sand Dollar, Dragon's Hole again, Just Peachy, and then Just Peachy and Sea Mist for the body. I did actually change up some of what I did. So for this one, I think I did 8 repeats on the body, and obviously the sleeves, if I hold them up next to each other, you'll be able to see the difference in the sleeves. So this just had a ribbing on, and this I added some patterning to. And it is a bit shorter as well. It's a great length for wearing over dresses and with high-waisted skirts and things like that, but it's a little bit too short for me to wear with jeans, which is why I wanted an alternate one. So they are both my Soldotnas by Caitlin Hunter. And if you want any of the information on yarn bases that I use, this one was just our 100% superwash merino DK base. I do keep quite good notes on Ravelry on my project pages, so you can just head over there and find out everything. Pippa, we can see you. Okay, so another recent finish was another pattern by Caitlin Hunter, which is the Novella T. So this is another colourwork sweater, but obviously the colourwork is at the bottom. And it's a lovely sort of boat neck sweater. So it starts off with ribbing, a 1x1 ribbing. Actually, you start from the bottom, but as you go down, you start with the 1x1 ribbing, obviously the body, and then the colourwork at the bottom. So the colours that I used were a wee dram for the main colour, a natural and Malbec for the red contrast. I think I knit it exactly to pattern as well. And I really love this. The wee dram is actually on a yak silk and merino base, which is really lovely, and it's got a really good, nice sheen that you probably can't tell on here. But it's a really lovely drapey fabric. But the weight of the bottom actually really helps, because the bottom of the sweater is heavier. I teamed it with, oh, it wasn't actually a natural, it was Snowdrop that I teamed it with. And that's on a BFL base, the BFL sock, and the Malbec is on a 100% BFL base. Okay, my last recent finished object is another Caitlin Hunter pattern. Thank you, Finn. This is Tenure, which is a top down, or is it top down or is it bottom? No, it's a bottom up T pattern with a gorgeous lace panel at the bottom. It's got one of my little tags on there. And I knit this in 100% mulberry silk in our ecru colour, which is a very, very light beige. The base is beautiful. It's got amazing drape, it's got sheen, it's really soft, it's light. The only issue is that I had a lot of knots in the skein, and you can actually see there's one just here. And there's one a bit further down as well. So while it's a base that I do want to put in the shop, I need to find a supplier that supplies ones without knots in. So I also knit this to pattern. I think I did the sleeves ever so slightly longer than the pattern says. But I really love that, and it looks really nice over the top of jeans, or with over the top of dresses even. And I think I knit the body a little bit longer as well, so it wasn't such a cropped sweater. So that is another sweater that I finished recently. So thank you, Finlay.
And we've got some wool.
Now we're going to show you some wool that's in the update this week. So we are starting a new collection, which is a wildflower collection. And the first part of the collection is flowers that attract bumblebees or honeybees.
Flowers.
Well, no, these ones are flowers that attract bees, or that are really good for bees. Okay?
So like just really good flowers.
Just really good flowers for bees. So the first one in this collection is called Teasel, which is a lovely light tonal purple with hint of blue in it. It's a cool purple, so it has got hints of blue in. So that's that one. Finlay, could you pass me one of yours? And this goes beautifully with this colour here, which is Sweet Pea. So this is has a tonal purple base with pink and purple speckles. So these two go really nicely together. Okay, can you pass me the white one there, Pippa? There. Yeah. And to finish off this trio, this one on the end here is Wildflower Meadow. So this it's a natural base with pink, purple, green and dark sort of mustardy yellow speckles. So I think these three together make a really nice 3-colour combo, or 3-skein combo for a shawl or something like that. And I've got 2 more colours.
Take mine, babe.
Shh, stop fighting. Children are fighting. So the last but one colour is this one, which is Wild Carrot. And it's a really nice, soft, dark buttery yellow, sort of almost verging on mustardy gold colour. And this one teams perfectly with the final colour, which I'm knitting my socks out of, which is Hawthorn. So that's a really pale, lemony yellow base with green, brown and pinky speckles. So next week we will actually have mini sets of these, but this week we've just got the full skeins. So these are the 5 colours that will be in the shop this week, which is on Saturday the 10th of August at 8 PM BST. We've got these on 5 different bases. We've got this base, which is a Super Sock base. We've got BFL sock, MCN sock, which is our merino nylon cashmere base. We've got DK as well, and we've also got Corriedale sock, which is this one just here. So this is a non-superwash, and you can see that the speckles on the Corriedale sock are more like watercolour splashes. So they don't actually come out as speckles. So this is the same colourway, just on 2 different bases. So it's Super Sock on the top, which is 75% superwash merino, and 100% non-superwash Corriedale on the bottom. So that's the difference in those bases. So the shop update, like I said, is Saturday, which is probably the day that this podcast is going to go out, I think, hopefully. But that's all I've really got to show you today, and I know that it's really short, but I will be going into more detail in a longer podcast next week, because the children are going away, aren't you? Yes. Where are you going with Nanny and Grandad? Going to Wales. And what are you going to do when you're there? Fishing. They're going to go fishing. So I'm going to be at home on my own working, and I will have a lot more time to film a proper full podcast and show you maybe the other 7 sweaters that I'm working on. Actually, you will be seeing one of them, because that's Pippa's sweater, isn't it? Yes. And Finlay's sweater too. So thanks very much for you little rascal. So thanks very much for coming to see us. You can find us online in all the normal places as NorahGeorgeYarns, and our website is NorahGeorgeYarns.co.uk. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Say bye. Bye. Oh, hang on, we've got a latecomer to say goodbye.
Bye.